minutes from the previous meeting. Have you read them?
Yes. Second.
Okay, that's approved. And our nickel counter over here.
I'm here.
I need you to, well, approve the accounts payable.
Yes, yes. I've looked at them, they're okay, we need to approve them as they are.
All right, how about the financial statement?
Financial statements, your revenues are ahead of the budget, so are your expenses, but we should bring that into line for the budget in September.
Okay. Rodney? You're up?
I have nothing to do with the report.
Nothing at all. Regular meeting items. Number 1 says FPL.
I think I'll take that one.
All right. Okay, Rusty.
Please.
I think this started out as an idea about a CRA in discussions with the county to take some CRA funds and put in some street lights within the boundaries of the district at some of the bus stops. Are y'all familiar with that at all?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the first agreement that was presented to me was an agreement between the county, St. Johns County, and FPL Lights. For FPL Lights to do work and the county to pay them and pay them their monthly bills and all that stuff, which sounded pretty good to me. Then I got a call from one of the county attorneys in St. Johns County, I've got her name somewhere. And she asked me what she thought the involvement of our district should be, and I said, none. I said, y'all got an agreement, well, you got a draft, a proposed agreement with the county. They're gonna do the work, you're gonna pay for it. We'll sign it, our district will sign at the bottom saying, we consent to all of this, and that'll help, but I don't really see where we need to be involved. And she sort of agreed with me, then maybe a day later, I got an email saying, well, I'll talk to people here at the county, and we really can't do that since it's not, we don't enter into agreements with FPL unless it's on county property, and this is on district property. So the suggestion was the district enter into the contract with FPL to install, get the stuff done, get the work done, and in the contract, the district would be obligated to pay. But then the county would enter into an interlocal agreement with the district to pay for it. So instead of making it direct, they're trying to make a big loop out of it, which I don't have a particular problem with. I've seen the agreement they've now drafted a new one that has Flagler Estates on it. I thought it was gonna be part of the package, but it's not. But it's a very basic agreement that says it looks to me like they're gonna put in 40 lights and some 8 concrete arm mounts, and there's an agreement that you gotta pay, the district would pay, I think it was $7,000 up front, and agree to pay for the monthly bills, but what we would put in this agreement with FPL, it would say that the district has absolutely no financial responsibility. All of our financial responsibility is contingent upon us getting the money from St. Johns County. And then we would enter into an agreement with the county to make that happen. I emailed this lady attorney, I'm sorry, I can't remember her name, yesterday or today, asking her if she thought about how the mechanics of that would work. Would they just give us money up front to pay for stuff, or would we have to pay for it to get reimbursed? So those are details, but I guess fundamentally, it's up to the board if they want to become involved in that. I don't see it as a very big risk if we get the proper documentation in place where it's clear to FPL that we're not paying them unless we get it from the county, and we haven't agreed with the county to do it, but it's just up to the board if you want to walk down that road to get this accomplished.
I got a question. How many lights?
Is that right, Mike? Is that the way you read it?
Can I say, that's only for bus stop,
I
right?
really don't know. I
Okay,
was
if
hoping-
it is,
I was
it is
hoping
just
David
for
Williams
bus
would be here
stop.
tonight, cause he's been the one pushing this. And I didn't really pay attention to many of the details, because as far as I'm concerned, it's, whatever the county's agreeing to pay for, that's what's gonna get done.
Right, yeah, it is for bus stops.
And according to the way I read this little thing here, it says blah, 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 installed 40 for, lights. And then it has a thing for 40 standard concrete arm mounts, 8. Then we have to pay whatever we have to pay based upon the county's agreement to pay us back, or however it works. The monthly fees plus, $7,135 is what they call a contribution to native construction that would have to be paid before FPL starts to work.
Now, this is for school bus stops.
That's my understanding.
Why isn't the school board involved in it?
Didn't I?
Good question.
And they, the bus stops at every intersection on Flagler State Boulevard.
What's that?
The bus stop is at every intersection.
I don't know how these were identified. Again, I think it was a CRA project did with the county. And I heard bits and pieces of it as over the last couple.
They were provided by the school
Yeah, they
district.
were provided by the school board, where the school bus stops were. And from what we were told, there's money being paid for lights that don't even work out here. So
Already.
I think that's why they were just gonna go in and put in new lights, because half of the ones don't even work out here.
Well, the one across the street from my house doesn't work.
So it's
I
being
wanna
paid
know
for.
why.
Yeah.
They said, well, do you wanna pay for it? No. It's not my responsibility.
Mhm.
It's still not working.
There was a light on Helena that was out, I called and they come up and fixed it.
That's a county road.
No,
Cursor is.
But somebody's paying the bill for all those lights.
Yeah.
CRA,
Yeah, the CRA's paying those bills.
the FPL bills every month.
When I used to have a light outside, I used to pay for farm power light, I have to pay out of my own pocket.
Yeah, I pay for one month.
Right, on your private property, yeah.
I know this district pays for a couple lights.
Ask Linda should know. I was getting ready to ask her.
You hear that, Linda?
What was the question?
Does the district pay FPL for any kind of lights, or the bills we get from them just our facilities here?
We have 3 accounts through FPL and it's strictly for the facility.
Okay,
So if we come,
$550 a month.
if we come up with an agreement to pay $7,000 to FPL, isn't that gonna constitute that we're gonna pay the light bill too?
well, I mean, that's what I'm saying, that the way it's structured right now, and I think the only way it's gonna be structured if it's gonna work, is that the district would sign up to to pay the bills, and then the county is somehow gonna pay us back, or I don't know if they're gonna advance X amount of dollars for us to fund it. It's really something that the county has made a lot more complicated than it should be. And that's why when I tried to I emailed the county attorney in St. Johns County about what's gonna be the funding mechanism, because I told him, I said, our board's gonna be concerned about signing up for any kind of obligation. Again, I don't think it's a big risk if you got the county's solid agreement to pay you back.
Could you get the agreement before the lights you put up?
What?
Go ahead, Linda.
Yes, Keely
Why
West.
is the district having to even get involved? We're allowing them access on our right of way. We don't have it in our budget to be able to do this. It's a CRA item. They deal strictly with the county, and I believe the county and CRA should work diligently together to provide that service.
Well, the county said they would not enter into this type of agreement with FPL because it was not on, they only do it when it's on county property.
Well, So does that mean that CRA couldn't enter into an agreement with the county?
They won't let us.
I have no idea.
No, we were told in the process, no.
Can we table this to next
Has
month
to
so
come
that I
in.
can do some more research and, figure out exactly what we need to do to handle this scenario, since it's not in our budget?
Okay.
Well, it should not affect our budget.
I make a motion, we table this.
$40,000 and we have to pay a monthly bill.
Well, if we put up $7,000 one day and get a check for St. John's County the next day, it ain't gonna affect our budget, is it?
No, no, but the question is, the monthly bill is gonna take that.
It's the same thing, I mean.
It would go to.
It would be made, if we did this, it would be made clear in the agreement that our financial obligations are solely conditioned on getting the money from St. John's County.
Okay, I would make a motion that we table this till we get all the final information. Second,
For me.
pass, table. Anything else, Rusty?
Yeah, just briefly, since we have a new board member, I thought I'd talk about the Florida Sunshine Law briefly. I think everybody's probably heard of it. It's essentially, it's government in the sunshine, open meeting law, and Florida is well known for its, very strict open meeting law. So when you hear about the sunshine law, you're talking about meetings of boards. The premise behind the sunshine law is that the public has a right to be aware of and participate in any kind of formal decisions that this board is going to make. This board, created pursuant to Chapter 298 of the Florida statutes, is subject to the sunshine law. The main three requirements are the meetings of this board have to be open to the public. You have to give reasonable notice of such meetings in advance. We do that by advertising in the paper. And minutes of these meetings must be taken, and we do that. So the premise of the sunshine law is when any two or more of you guys are talking about anything, any kind of item that might reasonably come before you for a decision, that's a meeting that's subject to sunshine law, has to be open to the public, noticed and have minutes of it. So the premise is you don't talk about district business, you don't talk about anything that might come before the board for action outside of these meetings. Staff, the sunshine law normally does not apply to staff. So if Bill wanted to talk to Mike about anything, or me, or Rudd, or the accountant, no problem. It doesn't prohibit board members from talking about things other than district business. It doesn't prohibit you from meeting socially or anything like that, but you just have to be careful not to talk about things that might come before you for a vote. Now, things like, boy, it's been dusty out here lately, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Bill and Leo riding around one day and one Sunday afternoon and identifying a bunch of projects and deciding we're gonna take those to the board. We already got 2 votes, for the easiest example. What else? Telephone calls are no different.
Emails, be careful about emails.
Emails, telephone calls, same thing. We're careful, we do send emails every once in a while, and we're pretty careful. We'll say, this is gonna come up for discussion, Friday night or Thursday night, and I've talked to Bill and Leo about it, but that's it. I'm not gonna say what Bill said or what Leo said or what Dirk said. I'm just gonna say it's gonna come up for discussion, so be ready to talk about it. There's pretty strict civil and potential criminal penalties for violations. You're subject to removal from office. So just be careful. Just think about if it's something that you might need to take formal action on, just make sure we're talking about it in here at this meeting. And probably the easiest ways, or the most common ways you might start crossing the line is right before or right after one of these meetings. When you know you're getting ready to talk about something, or you just talked about something, just keep it from fishing or drinking or whatever y'all do.
Go
Any
fishing.
questions?
I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Have you heard anything about this lawsuit that we're involved with?
The motorcycle accident? Yeah, we got the demand letter and Linda forwarded to our carrier, and they responded, and our insurance carrier, and that's the latest I've heard. Is anything else new, Linda?
No, there's been no additional contact thus far.
I mean, it's in their hands, that's why we have our insurance, and, they'll ask us for information as they need it, but they'll handle it, they'll hire an attorney if that becomes necessary.
All right, cause I did talk to one of the deputies who responded to that. And he told me the motorcycle had no license plate on it, had no headlights, no taillights, and the bike was 100 feet away from where he was laying,
All right, we'll get that in,
and he wasn't wearing a helmet.
we'll get that information to our insurance carrier.
And, what I understood from what I read, he said he hit a pothole. He said that. There was no potholes at Vaughn and Melanie. It was a speed bump. And it's a four-way stop intersection. Ask Mike, we haven't fixed any potholes over there.
Technically, if it's not registered legally.
To me, that's illegal.
Right.
Yeah. But,
We'll make sure our carrier knows that of it.
anything else, Rusty?
No, sir.
Okay, Linda?
Okay, I wanted to update the board that Dee Dee no longer works for the district. A week ago, I called her out on her working her real estate business during the 12 to 5 to 6 that she was doing. I showed Keith so that I would have a witness that she had a whole database on her computer, which took up a lot of software. I confronted her, and then she turned around and gave notice and quit. So that's why I'm returning next week, so I can get a new hire trained, give it to the bank, get Dirk listed as a check signer, and prolong the treatment for 2 weeks.
Okay, I hope you're doing well.
I've got 2 and 10 left, they said, so I don't know about well yet, but a week is good news, but life continues every day, like business, you know?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I know there's been a couple applications for part-time.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's all I have.
okay, good night, go to bed. Okay, Mike, you're up.
We've installed 10 driveway culvert package deals and 5 driveway culvert permits. We've also completed the second round of mowing road, and we'll start a third probably next week, depending on weather. We kind of slowed up on cutting because it's been dry and growing. We've also been working on the following ditches: the Oak Street, Isaac, Cedar Ford, and we're working on Hickey Street right now. I got a list of roads graded and road repairs, a lot of salt areas that we're dealing with right now. Hopefully the rain that we're getting ready we're getting ready to get is gonna help that out. We repaired several street signs throughout the district. We had to replace the gas pump on our fuel tank outside. Just let you know, all the lateral canal material that we ordered, it came in today. It's out there, out right now. So that came in, we just gotta find a good time to start on that project. The paving patchwork at East Ebert and Platinum Boulevard has been completed. And repairs. We need to purchase 14 pounds of riprap bags at $5,488 and 1 pallet of blacktop patches. $724, total of $6,012.
And it,
The year of purchase that I made, 14 pounds, riprap bag,
like approve those purchases. So go ahead and get it. Three of us approve.
One other thing, I do got the 5-year plan written out, done. Well, I'd like to get Rudd to come out and look at these roads that I've listed to be resurfaced or paved or new paved.
Okay.
And I got some intersections, which,
You deal with him on it.
yep.
All right.
And once we can get him to look at all these roads, then we'll get this typed up and then we'll review it.
Anything do we need to put on the consent agenda?
That was it, all I had.
Nothing. The old business. Besides streetlights. Nothing. Public comments. Anybody else? Dean, you always got something to say.
Nah, I'm gonna leave it alone right now.
Okay.
I just had a question. I saw on Facebook somebody was trying to get hold of Mike, I guess, because like the postal carriers, they come with the roads and they slam on their brakes in front of your mailbox, and the mailboxes are starting to get wobbly. And you walk out there and we packed it with dirt from our own property
That's
and
because it's
everything.
so dry.
No, this is not just the dry.
Mail
This is
person knows
all
about
waste.
this.
All waste.
Check concrete,
Yeah.
put concrete in the hole.
Well, I haven't done that yet, but I know somebody else got hold of them, so I didn't know what they decided. I was just asking.
Anybody else?
We've been dealing with a lot of that. I mean, mailmen be coming up getting stuff, especially on Nancy Street, Lawrence Street, there's several all over.
It got stuck on Susan, right in front of my house.
Because we keep trying to fill it back in and be nice and not be a pain in the butt, but
Sound like you don't have it deep enough in the ground.
no, it's in front of it. The rut is so big
Okay.
that in between filling it in,
What's that, what's your address again?
I'm on Hennessy,
What's your address?
10660.
Go. I'll check it out.
Yeah, I mean, we filled it in a bunch of times, and, I mean, I don't wanna go putting rock out there and then get in trouble for putting rock out there or something.
We've been putting millings, and it's everything we can find right now. I mean, that will kind of pack down and let the mailman get in there.
Yeah, well, they're not complaining about it. I'm just like, I walk out there and I trip because they
Oh, they're,
come to a sliding stop and it's like, okay, can you just come in there a little slower and not run it?
the ones on this side, they complain.
Anybody else like to say anything? You always got something to say.
Me?
Yeah.
Just wanna, just Mike's plan about division and extending Flagler State Boulevard. I mean, I'm eager to hear, if an ILA is gonna be written up for the school buses. The last time I went on division, and maybe again it's the dry weather, lots of sand. It's like driving on the beach on division. So I used to drive a school bus. I had my CDL, I don't know, I wouldn't wanna drive on it the way it's at.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I actually put a call into the transportation department because I wanted to ask them, because of the situation where half of it is St. John's and half of it is Flagler, what would the possibility, if we literally put millings down on our side, that the route could be repeated for the afternoon instead of reversed, so that the bus would stay on the same side of the street? I haven't gotten a call back yet, so maybe that's why I wasn't filling out a public comment card yet.
Okay, if nobody else wants to say anything this evening, we call this meeting adjourned. 7:30.
Nice. Yeah, I have to get my bearings first.